Hey, all right, Eric here. Back again to discuss to continue my discussion on the Dracula 2000 trilogy. I really enjoyed the first film. My buddy Mike over at American Werewolf in New Jersey was on my butt for quite some time to sit down and watch these films, and I decided why not discuss them while I'm watching them. Really enjoyed the first one, so today I'm going to discuss its follow up, Dracula 2 Ascension. This came out in 2003. New to my channel, plot spoilers, specific scenes will be discussed, what have you. Plot of this one basically it takes place the day of or the following morning of the after of what it takes place right after the ending of Dracula 2000, because Dracula's crispy body is taken to the morgue. Uh, Jason London, Jason or Jeremy, the non-crazy one, Jason London, and he is helping out the main lead, I guess you would say, the morgue assistant, helping her examine the body, what have you, and she accidentally pricks her finger on one of the fangs. She slowly turned into a vampire. But before she fully turns, her boyfriend, played by Craig Schaefer, who I keep confusing with David Boreanaz from Angel. Craig Schaefer is from Nightbreed and Hellraiser Inferno. He is a disabled man, and he and a group of friends steal Dracula's body because they get a phone call saying someone's going to they want to purchase the body. So they sneak it out of the morgue, try to bring Dracula back to life, and study him. All the while, Father Uffizi, played by Jason Scott Lee, who I love so much, is a vampire hunting priest sent by the Vatican, I guess you would say, killing vampires, and he now is after Dracula. Um, it sounds like a lot. It's not, but you know what? I had a lot of fun with this one as well. Maybe not as much as Dracula 2000, but still. Character wise, Jason Scott Lee, I said it in the last video. I love this guy. He is so good as Bruce Lee in Dragon the Bruce Lee story. He's fun in Born in East LA, the live action Mulan. He's great. He does a voice in Lilo and Stitch. He's a lot of fun. I love him in Soldier. He's not given too much to do here, but what he does, because he's not in this movie that much, what he is given, though, he's great at. He is there to kill vampires, be intimidating, and kick some butt. And he does it. The first time we meet him, he is hunting down two female vampires, and he ties their heads up. Like, he's got like sickles and knives and stuff like that. He ties their heads up with a rope, double decapitation. Really fucking cool. And a side plot is with this, and it happens right away, so it's not a huge spoiler. He's scratched by one of the vampires, so he is slowly turning. But what's kind of cool, and I've never seen this in the vampire mythology, is the way he stays human is by every now and then he'll go out into the sunlight and try to force the evil out. You know, the sunlight is slowly killing the vampire infection. Or because he's a priest, he'll take that, cat of nine tails or whatever, and he'll whip himself. And as he, cuts himself open, the sunlight will suck out the vampire uh, juice or whatever, the curse, whatever. That's cool. I've never seen that before. And he doesn't show off a lot of his martial arts skills, but what he does do is really cool. He gets in some fights with Dracula at the end. I do wish there was more, but Jason Scott Lee is actually pretty intimidating just with his look, his stare, his glare. I really like him. The other characters, nothing special. I was going to call him David Boreanaz. Craig Schaefer is there to be. It's not a secret. He's there to be the one of the bad guys. Obviously, you figure it out because they say it early on. It's a twist that isn't really a twist. You find out that Dracula's blood can help cure the injured. He wants the blood for himself to cure his, I don't want to say, I guess his handicap or whatever. He's confined to a wheelchair. He kind of reminds me of Stephen Hawking, the way his body's kind of twisted up. He's fine being a douchebag. He's usually always good playing a douchebag that I've seen him in. The main girl, she's fine. Jason London, he's okay. I mean, he's just there. The characters are just there. There's a Playboy playmate. What is her name? Is it Brandy Roderick? I don't know. She's not in the credits. She's there to look hot. She looks cool as a vampire. She has an interesting death. Roy Scheider from Jaws is in it for like 2 minutes. It's one of those blink and you miss it type of things. You know, as a priest, he's kind of cool. Everyone else is just there to be food. Um, I did like, I hate to call him this, but I did like the black guy. I don't know his name because he decides to inject himself with Dracula's blood for the power, and he looks like he's having a lot of fun when he's a vampire. I wish we saw more with that character during that, but he's got a cool death. You know, Father Uffizi takes him out really good. The gore isn't too terrible. You know, it isn't over the top. It isn't that bad. Um, I guess you would say the goriest part, and I thought it was really cool, is when they bring Dracula back to life, they steal a whole bunch of blood from the morgue or whatever, fill up this bathtub, and they soak his body in it. Eventually, he comes back to life, attacks a girl. I think it's the blonde, the playmate. You know, she gets knocked out of the window and then comes back as a vampire. So that's probably the bloodiest scene in this movie. Now for Dracula himself. I don't know who the actor is. It's obviously not Gerard Butler. They do a good job mentioning why it's not Gerard Butler. They say every time he's resurrected, he changes his facial features to like blend into society. I like the look of this guy. He's being held captive, and I like how they bring some mythology in from vampires into this movie that no one ever plays with before. And what I mean is, you know, they have him under UV lights. They're torturing him basically, you know, keeping him weak, and they have him chained with silver laced uh, chains, obviously, and he's still Judas. He's still Judas Iscariot, and I like how he's got seeds strewn all around him because vampires are very OCD. He cannot cross those seeds without counting them. He is covered in a net with knots. He cannot help himself but like untie the knots. That comes into play later how he gets away, but that's cool how he's bringing in that mythology. I like the look of this guy. He looks like an albino to me, and it's because he's been under these UV lights. He doesn't have a lot to do other than being tortured and giving soliloquies and talking to these characters, but the way he looks, the way this actor acts, it's very, I wouldn't say scary, but very intimidating. Um, a very good, I guess you would say, follow up from Gerard Butler. You know, he doesn't have the sexiness, the suave, personality that Butler gave him, but this guy seems more dangerous to me because he's like a caged animal. So I really liked it. That's about it. There isn't too much to this movie because that's not a bad thing because it takes place basically in one location, which is nice. And these characters have to deal with each other while dealing with, having fucking Dracula, um, basically being tortured in their basement. Eventually, of course, Dracula gets away or gets out. The girl who is infected, joins Dracula, which was a kind of a twist you did see coming, but you didn't. And you might be disappointed in this movie because if you didn't know that this was going to be a trilogy, there's definitely an ending that it sets it up for part three, but it just kind of ends. Father Uffizi is fucked up. Dracula takes the main girl to go do whatever he's gonna do. I'm assuming in Dracula 3, so you do have that like what the fuck is gonna happen moment. If I hadn't known there was gonna be a part 3, I would have been pissed. But so this is kind of like a, I don't know if it was Killian who said this, from the Night Watch Zone or something when mentioning sequels. Sometimes they're just the second chapter to finishing the story type of thing, and that's what this is. What we have here is good though. Like I said, I really like Jason Scott Lee as Father Uffizi. I can't wait to see him. I know he's in the sequel. I can't wait to see him come back. Um, I know it's not. I do know who plays Dracula in the next one. I won't say who it is because when you put the DVD in, you see who the person is, like right then and there during the opening credits. But the guy who plays Dracula in this is really good. The other people are just there to watch Dracula get bitten by Dracula, get killed by Father Uffizi. But that's not, I didn't expect much. Overall, it's a fun follow up to Dracula 2000. Didn't like it as much, but you know what? I'll watch anything with Jason Scott Lee. So I do recommend, if you liked Dracula 2000, watch where this goes. And like I said, I liked how they brought in some more of the mythology with the OCD of the vampires and type of thing like that. And like I said, the twist ending with who really wanted to take care of Dracula, for the blood, wasn't really a twist. But whatever, who cares? We can't all be M. Night Shyamalan. So, excuse me. With that, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Excuse me. Click the bell. Comment below. Tell me if you've seen this. Tell me if you like this movie, hate this movie, agree with me, disagree. Say Mike is crazy for liking this movie. I really enjoy it. It's just a kind of a little bit of a step down from 2000. But either way, I do recommend it. I had a lot of fun. And even though the ending pissed me off, I do know there's a part 3, and it got me pumped to see where this story is going with how it ended. So, don't know how to end this. I'm just going to say cheers.